we try not to be disheartened by this feedback because it makes us stronger in that sense. In terms of design aspects, in terms of design, I think it's always try and error, and never be afraid to go all out in your design.
The Business Lab.
Hi everyone, welcome to yet another episode of the Business Lab podcast. And today we have Abdul Hakim, the founder of Monolythiq. Hi Abdul Hakim.
Hi Sofian.
Nice to have you on the show. And of course, this episode is sponsored by our two sponsors, ID, Entity and Craft by 3, and our media magicians, Studio 5 Corp. And today we have none other than the principal designer and the founder of Monolythiq, an interior. They focus on interior architecture, graphic design and branding. And of course, Abdul Hakim himself has over a decade of experience in innovative and functional design. Really excited for this episode.
Thank you, Sofian.
So let's kick things off here. What inspired you to start Monolythiq as an interior architecture / branding / graphic design firm? Could you tell us?
Thank you, Sofian, for the question. So, I was a designer back then for the past 8 to 10 years. So I graduated from art school, taking up interior design course. So eventually I found myself very drawn to graphic design. And while working for various companies, I find myself getting clients, who wanted to do branding, graphic design, and I was drawn to the satisfaction of creating a logo or collaterals for them, and made me very happy with the product, because it's a brand you put out there, and it's something as fresh grad who's just started work, and then as there's a sideline as well, and I could have this form of I would say activity for me to do, and also earn some funds as well. So I think when I was mid-20s, I know I have friends around me, and we often speak of our visions and what we intend to do for the next 10 years, So I find myself liking architecture, design, graphic design. The age of 16, when I was in secondary school, we were taught of D&T. I think now it's called Craft and Technology, right? So I was very fascinated by how things are being built, where you go through the process of your developments and how the product is being created. So that's where I found myself, maybe I should take architecture or interior design for, my course. So that's where I envisioned maybe, if God willing, I could, probably start my own practice, if there's an opportunity. So I kept that goal in mind, even though, there wasn't any opportunity at that point of time. But I feel that along the way, when we share our dreams, our vision to people, they say strength in numbers, right? Where you get motivated by the people around you and constantly advise, no, just go for it, just try it and network yourself and see where you can, where this will take you. So, alhamdulillah, although we just started, I'm blessed that my vision came true up to today. So, still a work in progress.
Alhamdulillah, that's amazing. So a lot of it was inspiration, and then you had friends, people who kind of pushed you along the way. I'm sure it was not an easy route being an entrepreneur or someone starting your own outfit. So perhaps you can share with the viewers, what were some of your challenges that you faced along the way in setting up your interior architecture, branding, and graphic design firm?
Okay, so the first and foremost, when to share some insights, it was sole proprietorship back then, 1 year ago. So it was a test for myself. I even told my spouse that I'm just going to try this out. If it works, it works. But I hope it makes through, so I can, keep on going on my feet and pursuing this dream of mine. So I gave myself 1 year. I have that goal, and I told myself that, by the end of this year or mid-year, I need to achieve these goals and reach some, some level of comfort which can make me go further. I guess that's where I told myself I think I needed a team. So that's a bit of the tough part, because getting team is not easy. It may seem like you know everyone, but to fit right into the company or the studio culture, I think it takes a while to get comfortable with that. So that's where I found myself in a place where there was a direction, but I guess there wasn't something or who I can hold on to this. So I guess like in few months down the road, I did some research and a lot of networking session, and then I met some friends, people who became like partners with me, and that's where I started it. So I would say one of the first thing when you start is the project sales. So where our revenues are coming in, that's where we need to sit down and think through where to get our clients and what our direction is. So that was on the first toughest part. So for myself, I focus a lot on the branding itself, putting our name out there and ensure that there's a satisfaction of what I put out there. If it's okay, it's likable, and then it's appreciated by people out there. I think that's where it keeps me going, and then just move on from there. So of course, like for the business aspects as well, we rely on marketing as well. So in marketing, it's very I would say it is broad. You see, so some might have networking sessions, some might do cold callings and stuff like that. So I think we had a fair share of how we get our projects. Of course, word of mouth especially. That's one of the.
I think the most important thing for anybody who wants to venture and go out and do their own business is to understand that there is no substitute to hard work. Hard work comes first. Everything else comes second. Because we do know that people view business owners as kurang boss. You guys are bosses. You guys drive nice cars and you guys stay in nice places. Yeah, but you don't understand the struggles to get there. I personally tell myself this: do or do not. There's no try. Courtesy of Yoda.
Sounds like that you did a lot of things, word of mouth, networking sessions, and outreach to kind of grow the business. And you said that you wanted to focus on branding, and if you're satisfied with it, will come out. I'm sure the challenges when you first started was something that it could have stopped you, but it didn't. You see, what were some of the mindsets that you had going through those challenges that helped you push through?
Okay, so there were, to recall, there are a few, because I told myself that firstly, we all got bills to pay, right? So that's one of the factor that I need to do something, to work something out, and then if I stop here, it would be a total waste, because I branded this studio, and how can I move forward without feeling the anything like pulling the setback for myself and the company. So what keeps me going is of course like at the first start you won't be successful, because you find yourself okay, what's next? You've done this thing, and what's next? And you find yourself in a space where there's nothing coming in. What you gonna do? So I guess we restructure certain plans of ours, go out to the drawing board, and collaborate collectively, chin in some ideas, and see where we can take this company to the next level. So one of the few things that kept me going, of course, like the people around me who supported me throughout, and verbally or physically, in terms of like being there, and advisors, and partners who are willingly to support this company itself, and see where it would take us. Yeah. So that was some of the.
They've been very valuable in your journey. It seems like, right? So I think I'm very curious to know, because you're in kind of the design space, and you've mentioned that it's in the pillar of like interior architecture instead of like interior designer or whatever, right? So how do you differentiate yourself from the market, which is so competitive right now?
Okay. So for us, we're strictly design-driven company. So we focus a lot on design and all the technicalities, the technical details. So things like when we often get projects, we are often more design-driven, where we focus a lot on design, the 3D visuals, and how we articulate our techniques in designing floor plans. So it may seem it is a very competitive industry out there, but I guess it takes us a lot of courage to work out a structure where we try to be different in that sense. Yeah, at the same time, being our own brand where we can, people can rely on design itself. Yeah, in terms of in that sense where I would still say that we are an interior design renovation firm, but we are not focused on that only. That is one of the practices we do, right? So and interior architecture design consultancy is what we really focus on, strictly design and more on the design details itself. Yeah.
Cool. So like, what are some of the interesting projects that perhaps you can make mention of here that stood out for you when you were serving the clients and the projects that you were doing?
Okay, so one of the memorable project was the design consultancy project in Teluk Kurau. Was a Lennon house. So I was approached by the client, and then they said they found my website, and then I had the opportunity to take on design consultancy for that. So it got us a bit excited. It's like, wow, like Lennon house ending, and of course if we could enter into the renovation side, that'd be good. But they strictly wanted only design. So that's where we met the client, and then it took us a lot of drafts, and details to work on with them. I think finally they were like amazed with the product. I think that's where they took up the design consultancy services that we offer. But I guess that was one of the few ones you have. Yeah, the memorable one.
What stood out for that in terms of the lessons that you've learned? Because running a team, running something fresh, you said you gave yourself 1 year, and then now you have a project with a landed property. So what were some of the lessons that you learned for that particular project?
Okay, so the one of the lessons I think I've learned is all about when it's okay to do trial and error. I mean, honestly, if you feel that you've designed one floor plan or one design A, and then you scrap it off, and then don't throw it away. Just keep it like at a bookshelf or something like that. And then in terms of being metaphorical here, so don't throw it away. Just put it there, and then these are called developments, right? So that's where we come back to the same thing again. We have so many drafts, and then several options that we have, and how can we make it better? So we often find ourselves like bringing this to clients, and then they say, hey, this is not what we want. Maybe can we look into other things? But we shouldn't be very upset on that, because that's where the challenges are. See, yeah, and that's where we come back to our drawing board. Say, hey, let's take that design here and see how we can tweak these things and how we can improvise on this design. That's where our learning journey is. We never we try not to be disheartened by this feedback, because it makes us stronger in that sense. In terms of design aspects, in terms of design, I think it's always try and error, yeah, and never be afraid to go all out in your design. Don't have any restrictions as well, and just go all out for it. So that was one thing we've learned together as a team.
Wow, grow as a team, go all out. Don't be afraid to go all out with your design. Okay, really, really interesting lessons that I'm hearing here. So I think the natural question would be, okay, now you have a team, right? And you have your vision as a founder, what the company should be and what the design should be. How do you ensure that whatever the vision you have as a founder, it translates into what your team understands and then translates into the project for the client? Yeah.
Without any rest, I wanna see you
So in the studio culture, the first thing when I brief my team in let's say in the morning, you said we often stress a lot on collaborating, and one thing's for sure that open communication is very important to my team especially. So we can be having fun and and being very diligent in what we do in our work. This at the same time we know that there's work that needs to be done, and then when this open communication enables us to get more ideas, fresh ideas, and then feedbacks from people, from our staff, and then that and of course it makes us very receptive as well, because when we have that open communication, it brings about togetherness. The collaboration is there. So that's what we try to nurture in the studio, and it has been perfect so far. Because very often I feel with this lack of open communication will bring about a lot of stress and a lot of unwanted feelings, towards in the culture of office, and then it will be translated to work, and then you don't enjoy it. So that's where you feel emotionally when we feel happy and contented with a team, and then you know that you will give your extra, your all, you will give your 200% to the project itself. And then if everyone is receptive, then myself as the principal designer, and I have some partners as well who, if we stand strong on that statement, I think it will goes well for all of us in the studio.
Yeah, I can see that it's going really well. And how big is your current team?
Our compact team is only 6 of us at the moment.
Are you guys scattered around the world, or in Singapore, or Zoom?
All in Singapore. In Singapore, selling the studio, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm very curious to know, how do you foster a culture of collaboration within the team? I know it's a team of 6, right? How do you ensure that everyone supports one another?
Okay, so each and every one of us in the office, in the studio, we all have different practices where we focus on. So for myself, I'm training interior design, graphic design, and I have a team of graphic designer and marketing directors. So they all have specific roles and they are good at. So one of the program in what we were working on back then was Singapore Design Week. So that was one of the first pilot project where we intended to conduct workshops. So we gathered the team of to sit down and speak about how we can do up this program. I think from pitching all the way until we got the invitation to participate in it. So when we got the brief, we got everyone's ideas, to churn out ideas and get their own opinions how we can conduct this program. So I guess that's where I was very proud that we all had our own task to work on and collectively come together and pitch on the drawing board. So we had the meeting. I think it's fun because we had a lot of ideas, but then some ideas was taken out, but then something better came in, you see. So at the same time, like I mentioned earlier, we have to be receptive in how we get the feedback. So it's for the betterment of the company. So that would bring about goodness in it. So that was just one thing I was proud of. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I can sense the excitement and the delight in your face as you're saying that. Since we're on this topic of what you're proud of, what are some of the things that, besides that, what are the other moments of that made you feel oh, you know what, I'm really proud of where we are now in the space that you've experienced here?
The few things that I mentioned, to name a few, one of the programs that we intend to do, which I can touch on later as well. It's a program called Elevations, where it's for the youth. We're throwing it back to the youth, and if they intend to learn design, and how the industry level is. Because for us, we embrace interns, we embrace freshmen, fresh graduates who intend to be in the industry, and then once the G's of it, and they can come and hop into our company and see how it works as well. And then if they would like to stay, and then we can work around it as well. So I think that's one of the things I was proud of when we had that opportunity to work on this program itself. So everyone had their ideas and a lot of research and development, R&D. So R&D takes a lot of time, you see. So I'm happy that everyone did their their things to focus on, so they can conduct this program as well. That's one of the things. Yeah.
I wanted to pivot into the topic of the work that you're in itself, which is you're in interior architecture, you're in branding, and you're also in graphic design. How do you see yourself dealing with that? The fact that these are disciplines in its own right, and how do you make sense of it as a company?
Okay, so I'm a trained interior designer, so I look at things also different from how others look as well. I mean, they probably have their own set of principles, they follow through. So I also have the set of mine. So at times I feel I'm stuck in this they call it the design block, right? Where you feel that you're doing the thing repeatedly, and then you find yourself like not satisfied in the work. So I guess that's where I myself will ask opinions, and then all go back to researching on how I can make this better. So research and development takes a lot of time. So I must try to minimize the research time in going through visuals quickly, and then see how I can improve on it. Then print it out and paste it on the walls and get inspired from there. And then that's where it motivates me. Like, hey, I should take this idea and then refine it. And then of course asking my colleagues to give some opinions and feedback as well, and how I can make this better. Yeah, because we're not only looking at how our floor plans are, or we're looking at the visuals and how we structure this deck for our clients, right? So it matters a lot how we present it to them. It has to be in tip-top as well.
Yeah, so very curious to know, like, you're looking at branding, graphic design, and also interior architecture. And I'm very curious to know, for you in particular, what is the flavor? What is the brand? What is the brand? Do you have a brand color? Do you have something that stands out and say that this is who we are, right? Is it as a particular era in history, right? So what's your brand like?
All right, so Monolythiq, right? I think first forward mono, people may seem like, oh, it's very mono or something, monochrome or something, but kind of like in that sense, like black and white, contemporary, modern, and futuristic in that sense. So that's how we stand for as a company. We've made that branding such where it's a bit like modern but black and white, but it may seem a bit dark, but not in that dark sense. Yeah, but I guess the approach is clean and in the niche. Yeah, so yeah, clean, minimalistic look. At the same time, the modern touch. Yeah.
And I guess it's the perfect time for me to ask this question, which is, where do you see the future of the industry going? Serving the clients that you are looking at, what's trending? What do you think will be trending? What's your take on that?
Okay, so I feel the design elements and all the kind of concepts these days, some things are repeatedly, but I think when we move on to the future, some things some older trends may come back. Like these days, the pastel colors are coming back. You see, so it's the pop of colors and then a little bit of colorful and quirkiness is coming back. So I think to add on to what I'm trying to say is, if I talk about AI is here to stay, right? So for us, we embrace AI. It's there, and then sometimes we rely on it, we use it, but then I try to stay away from those. But I think doing things traditionally, like sketching, and then go on your softwares and do it in those developments will do good in the future. It's here to stay. It's there as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think AI is definitely top of mind, and it's very exciting to see how the space is going to look like with AI. We hope you enjoyed this episode with Abdul Hakim from Monolythiq. We'd like to thank our sponsors, of course, ID, Entity, and Crowd by 3, and our Media Magician Studio 5 Corp for the amazing setup as always. And of course, there is a description box in this video, so please fill in the survey so that we know how to make this podcast even better. Catch this at anywhere you get your podcast, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, wherever you get your podcast, and do share. And with that, thank you so much for catching us for this episode. We'll see you for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.